Welcome back to Norrath. Last time we did some city planning, and today we are going to take a look at what I've done in between episodes, and then we're going to do a little work over in East Freeport on the docks. But before we get to that, I'll show you the road network I've laid down and the plots I've marked out. They're marked out in Podzol at the moment, but I'm going to change them to whatever material we want to put in on the floors here. I'm thinking for some of the floors we might want to get colorful and actually use some of the patterned terracotta. However, for the moment here, you can see I've plopped down a test structure here. This is an example of the timber frame dwellings we're going to have sitting on all of these plots. They're going to have wooden sagging roofs and a lot of timber frame construction, various floors in them, and they're going to be a lot bigger and better than this. This is just an old thing I had laying around that I wanted to plop down here for you to see. I don't actually have pre-made structures for any of these yet. We're going to be building them all probably one by one. Well, the important ones one by one anyway. When it comes to making houses over here to stick in the back alleys, we will copy and paste those from various elements that we will be building. And I've also added 2 more lion statues for a total of 4. When I was sitting here looking at the courtyard earlier, I thought, well, we really need a couple more. And I've added in a couple of streetlights as well. And let's swing through North Freeport over here. I'll show you the finished pavement. I just had a piece of this last time. And this area is going to house the Tower of Arcane Science, or the Academy of Arcane Science. The Mage and Wizard and somebody else's guild. Now this is just a test structure. The final thing is going to look kind of like this, but not like this. And it will have an actual roof up there. But this is just the location. I wanted to throw this down here to see if it was going to fit. And around back here, we may have to reroute this road a little bit because the structure hangs over into it a little, which is not good. And over here, this structure is going to be the Iron Bank of Freeport, where you store all of your possessions. And they're going to have vaults in there and all sorts of treasures. But this is just another temporary structure. The final building isn't going to look exactly like this. Maybe the bottom will, but the top is all subject to change. So let's head over into West Freeport. And I realized there's something I want to add to West Freeport. I think we need an arena of sorts. I've talked about that previously. But we need a sort of large tournament type structure over here. I may have to reroute some of these roads over here because I want to tie it on to the Freeport Militia headquarters and have it kind of in this area. I think that would look pretty good. And I also think we're going to want to have several of these scattered throughout the world as various tournament locations people go to have jousting events and various sporting events. I think that's something that we definitely need to have. And before we get over to West Freeport, we will swing through South Freeport, or Southeast Freeport. And this is the color I've decided to go with for the pavement. It's a dark prismarine. It suits the area well enough. Around here we're going to have the Necromancer and Shadow Knight guilds. Probably around here, or maybe over there, or over there. We'll have to see about that. It also has to tie in to another feature that I want to add, which is going to be an extensive underground series of tunnels and catacombs and water cisterns and various sewer apparatus down there to drain away waste from the city. Because this is Minecraft, we can and should do that, because Freeport did have a sewer system in the game. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff I want to add down there. Because the great thing about Minecraft is we're not just restricted to building on flat terrain. We can go up, and we can go down quite a ways too. We've got 60 blocks down there to play with, so we're going to use most of that, I think. However, we are now in East Freeport. This is the docks location. I've decided to go with lapis for this area because of the sea over here. They are both a nice blue color, so I think that suits itself well. I've also changed the pavement for the central courtyard down here and laid out the roads around here and added in another fountain. And I need to fix the water in it. And we'll be adding more things to this pavement around here eventually. I've also added in another wall section over here. I thought East Freeport was just a little bit too exposed on this area, and I wanted to divide it up. I think we're going to have the main docks along this way, and we have the sea walls over here. The foundations sink into the water for quite a ways down. I think over here we want to have the military docks, where we have the warships that will be parked here off of their piers. There's also something else we're going to be adding to East Freeport, which is going to be a lighthouse. I don't know if it's going to be this structure. This is just another test structure that I've thrown down here. I think it's going to be about that tall, but we need to have a light fixture in the top of it and everything. I've also added a prototype. We're going to have a stone pier that juts out in the water here, but closer to the water level, we're going to surround it with wooden structures for the docks. And we're going to have a mix of these. We're going to have a couple of these off along here, and various smaller and larger wooden piers for various ships to dock at. Speaking of ships, over here we have a few ships that I have on hand just laying around that I've thrown down. Now I would love to take credit for these, but I did not build these wonderful little Viking ships. Someone else did. I found them in a building pack actually on Planet Minecraft. And they were really good. Although I think I still want to modify them some for my own uses. But I think this would be a good example of the barbarian ships from Hellas that would probably sail down to Freeport. The shape of the hull of these is quite good though. Especially the little end things along here. But over here, this is an example of a ship I did build. This is, well, it's terrible. But my defense is, this is the second ship that I've only ever built. And we are going to have to do a lot better than this. But we're going to take design cues from these ships, and we're going to make something probably just as good for various other types of ships. But for the moment, you can just imagine the ships all lined up along the docks here, unloading their cargo, taking on passengers, going across the ocean of tears over here. And also in some of these ships, I'm going to set up teleports that will take you to probably either the various islands, or it will just take you directly across the ocean to the docks at Caledon whenever we build those. So in that way, we can have functional ships. Kind of like the game, but not quite. So now that you've been brought up to speed, I think we will now hop into MC Edit and start doing some work on East Freeport. So now that we're in MC Edit, we can start putting in the stone piers, like this one, and these over here, which I have put in for the military docks at the shipyards. And we do want to have one of these devoted to shipbuilding, I think. However, I think the first one we want to put in is going to be over here. I want to have one there, one down here, probably one going off here too, and one somewhere around here. Wherever looks nice. So we will grab this thing, and as you can see, it goes down quite a ways. And we'll lower it down to the street level here. And nudge it into position. And let's see, how far over do we want to go with this? Perhaps about like that. And have the bedrock bands all line up. That looks pretty good. There's still a straight shot for the little roadway here. Does it go out far enough? Maybe it goes out too far. We might want to extend the central pier out a little bit more if we do this. So let's take a section and extend this pier out some more. About like that. Is that going to be enough? Maybe a little bit more. That should be enough. Let's tuck under the water and see. There's a pretty good depth of water down here. It should be enough. And I think over here we might want to put a little one out this way. So we'll rotate that around, move it to the correct height, and nudge it into position. And we'll be able to fit a few more ships around that side, because we do want to make our harbor big enough, because I think Freeport is probably going to have the largest harbor in Norrath. I can't think of another city, possibly Verona Bay, that's going to have as big a harbor as Freeport. Quainos will have a big one, but I think Freeport is more dependent on the sea, and Quainos is more of a land power. So they would have probably a smaller harbor. And let's put in the piers on this side. So we'll put in the pier up here. And I think we want a smaller section coming off this way. So we'll have a little dock there, and I think I want a bit more right there. And there we go. That looks pretty good. And we're going to need another one. I could plop it right in the middle here, but I think I want the distances to be varied. So we either need to put it over here or over here. Where would look best? I think actually down here would look best, and we can do maybe something like that, or this, on the end there. Yes, let's do that. Alright, I've taken my time to do some more building, and I think I've got the final layout of the docks here. I decided to go for a large enclosed area here, and a smaller one down here. I've extended the piers up here just a little bit. I have done that also around here, and I have extended the military pier just a little bit more. And I think overall this should be enough to make Freeport the mercantile capital of Norrath. I mean, it is right there in the name, Freeport, so we have to have a very large port. The questions that remain now are, where are we going to put the buildings? because we have a lighthouse to put in somewhere. We also have a customs house. And, I'm not sure if the customs house should be back over here on the main square. Might be a good location for it. Also be a good location for the tavern, though. Or if we should put the customs house further down towards the docks here. However, I think along this area is going to be mostly warehouse districts. Probably all this is going to be warehouse. And I think somewhere either here or here we need to put the lighthouse. I could also potentially do something with this area and put the lighthouse there. But I'm not sure that I want to do that. Another option is to have the lighthouse out here. And I could make a larger square there, but we would lose a little real estate inside the dock complex. I'm not sure about that. Unless I made it like that. That doesn't seem like too much of a good idea. The lighthouse could also go here. This is my current favored location for the lighthouse. We're not building that this episode. We're just thinking about where we want to put it in the future. And for all the various sizes of ships I want to build, I think this is going to pretty much do it. And so what we need to do now is make the detailed wooden sections of the docks, because all of this is too high above the water line. We need to have some wooden sections down here so the ships can have some place to offload their goods and lower their gangways and all that good stuff. We also don't want our delicate wooden ships bashing up against the side of the stone piers here. And we're going to be adding those around the sides of all of these docks here, which is going to be quite a bit of work. But it's a fairly simple thing to do, so it shouldn't be too bad. So let's hop back into the game and start doing the fine detail work, because in my opinion, that is what creative mode is best suited for. This is when we can actually use the game for some building. And what height are we going to want to do this above the water at? What do these ships sit at? It looks like they're about 2 blocks above the water. So we will want to start with this. And we'll see how it works. I think we'll go about 3 blocks out. And maybe every 2 blocks that way. And we're going to want to sink these wooden sections into the water. I will extend them down later in MC Edit, because in the game you can't see anything down there. There's a visibility issue. I could use a night vision potion, but is that going to be enough? I think we're going to want it to come out a little further than that, actually. That's not too bad. Maybe I want to go a little further out. Is this enough space? I think it is going to be the right height above the water. And to get up there, I think we are going to want to, we could put ladders in between these gaps I've left, or we can do what I would rather do and add some stairs. And we can add stairs like that. Should they be stone stairs or should they be wooden? Well, we do have quite a lot of width up here on these docks, so I think what I will do is probably make a niche in the wall here and add in some stone stairs instead of going with these wooden ones. But this is going to be the general theme of the wooden docks that we're going to have going all around this way. And they're also going to have smaller little jetties that go out like this. And we will have those edge all of the docks, and these little ones will stick out at regular intervals, I think. But I think that's all the time we're going to have for today. I will work on all this in between episodes, and next time we will work on some other part of Freeport. I'm not really sure which one. But I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you next time.